So how do New Caledonians elective representatives perceive family farming and fishing? How do they see them in relation to the country's other productive activities? What do they see as the main issues, strengths and weaknesses, and how are they developing? To answer these questions, we conducted individual face-to-face qualitative interviews in February and March 22 with 17 elected representatives from the territory of New Caledonia, mayors, representatives to Congress, etc., in both urban and rural areas. We will present the main results of these interviews in this communication without interviewee quotas to avoid taking up too much time. Firstly, we will present the main results of these interviews and the survey method and sample. Secondly, we will discuss the place of agriculture and fishing in the discourses of the elected representative. And thirdly, we will look at the place of family farming and fishing in New Caledonia according to these elected representatives. Their main issues, their strengths and weaknesses, and the opportunities and levers to be taken into account for their development. So, the survey of elected politicians in New Caledonia was carried out using a qualitative method based on individual semi-directive face-to-face interviews after prior appointments. The interview guide used comprised several parts. First, a biographical description of the interviewee, the main perceived issues in New Caledonia, agriculture and fishing, and in particular, family farming and fishing. And then, their perception of the extension of the Rice Fala project to other Pacific territories. The interviews lasted between 1 hour and 2.5 hours, with an average of 1.5 and 2 hours. The sample of the survey, 17 elected representatives were interviewed, taking care to vary their political ideology, pro-independence and anti-independence, to vary gender, male and female, and among the territory's main political institutions, in particular, the members in charge of agriculture and fisheries issues, from the commune, mayors and elected members of municipal councils, the Congress of New Caledonia and provincial assemblies, the government of New Caledonia, and the Economic, Social and Environmental Council, le CESE. Most of the interviews were recorded with the prior agreement of the interviewee. Some interviewees requested that their answers remain anonymous. Of the 17 elected representatives interviewed, some were mayors of municipality and also members of Congress or member of provincial assemblies. 13 held positions on municipal council of the commune. 3 were Congress representatives. 2 were members of the CESE, in charge of a commission on agriculture or fisheries. 1 was a representative of a provincial assembly, and 1 was a member of the government with responsibility for agriculture. So we interviewed 9 men and 8 women, 9 of whom were politically pro-independence, while 8 were anti-independent. The interviews were conducted in person at the place of work of the elected representative we met. A first series of questions aimed to understand the place of local food production activities among the country's other activities. Generally speaking, New Caledonian agriculture, and in particular livestock farming, which was often highlighted, is perceived as highly subsidized in a territory that is still very dependent on the outside world, and in particular on subsidized from mainland France. Among those we spoke to, who considered themselves to be anti-independence, or with a vision of the community as a whole, of New Caledonia as a whole, we noted that family farming played a lesser role than structured agriculture, livestock farming and fishing. These people put forward social issues, for instance, promoting the rural family and its establishment, or providing an occupation and technical skills, and cultural issues, using and recovering traditional techniques, more than economic issues, for instance, contributing to GDP, or creating salary employment and developing exports. The interviewees who declared themselves to be pro-independence were concerned to promote the Kanak rural family and the Polynesian family if they live in rural areas, and to preserve traditional production technique and skills deemed to be in danger, but also to promote a form of food sovereignty, if not food independence, are they got, with reflections on a new agricultural model for New Caledonia for the future, and to enable economic development while respecting the area, ecological diversity and customs, as quoted by a member of the CESE, pro-independence. The aim would be to promote self-sufficiency, sustainable agriculture, agroforestry, and short distribution channels. The issue of agricultural land after a period of redistribution of customary land seems to have been absent from discussions in Congress until at least 22. All the people we met, with the exception of one particular case, head of a fisheries committee, talked first about family farming, then about family fishing, but often in a relaunched form, and even less frequently about small-scale family farming. Here again, the criterion that most differentiates the comments made is political affiliation, pro-independence versus anti-independence. According to the representative we spoke to, the role of family farming varies from region to region. In Greater Noumea, it's a simple matter of gardening, where access to a private or communal garden is considered to be rare, with a mistake made when squats were reassessed at the end of the 2010, despite the presence of a few allotments or shared gardens set up by a number of local authorities in Noumea, Doumbia, etc. Outside the Greater Noumea, in the suburb area of Mondor and Paita, for instance, market gardening plots are slightly larger in size and allow for small-scale family gardening. There are more allotment and community gardens in the northern province than in the south there, but the redistribution of land to Kanak groups in the 90s was not followed by agricultural training, according to the people we met, and no easy access to the necessary supplies and equipment. The situation is the same in the Islands province, where family farming and fishing are still very much in evidence among the Kanak population. On the other hand, the picture seems to be different for people of European origin, who are more likely to vary their agricultural production, and for Asian people, who are more likely to monetize it. The elected representative we met talked about what they saw as the strengths and weaknesses of the family productive activity. 5 levels of use are perceived for family farming, fishing, and small-scale livestock rearing. First, family self-consumption. Second, gift and exchanges with the extended family and close relations. 3, ritual gift made to the tribe through the institution of guardians of the land, at least in the Highlands province and in the north. 4th, monetarization at informal sales points. And 5th, monetization through formalized processes as colporteurs or hawkers, or through communal markets, which may remain informal but are more structured than roadside sales. The pro-independence elective representatives stressed the importance of the first 3 uses, social and cultural visions, with the 4th making it possible to earn a few coins or to pay for other uses as electricity, fuel, school supplies and transport, etc. And it's seen as a form of circular economy. The anti-independence elected representatives tend to stress the need for the last use, economic and financial vision, which makes it possible to monetize family production and reduce the territory's external dependence. The most frequently cited strength is that it enables self-sufficiency. The possibility of self-subsistence is seen not only as a means of food autonomy, but also as access to healthier food than that available from the shops. Boxes, I got the citations, boxes of chicken and frozen food, tinned food and ready-made meals, packet of crisps, sugary drinks and junk food, and the medical problems associated with it. It enables self-subsistence, the ability of family to feed themselves well with a balanced and regular diet, quoted a representative. It provides also an occupation for groups who are sometimes unemployed in other ways and provides technical training for young people. The possibility of monetizing part of their production was also mentioned as a strong point, but in most cases only occasionally. Someone told me, managing to feed your family all year round by self-production with surplus production sold on the market to make a financial surplus. Hence, the importance of increasing the number of informal or more formal markets at municipal level, as the mayors interviewed pointed out. In addition to self-consumption, family farming and fishing also make it possible to monetize part of what you produce in the money circuit, as well as taking part in traditional Kanak ceremony through gift and countergift. Je reviens en arrière. This inclusion of the fruits of family farming and fishing in a community circuit helps to strengthen the links between groups which have tended to become weaker in recent years. Anti-independence supporters often confuse community donations with gifts and bartering with friends and family. A Congress representative told me, if you know people who fish, you swap eggs for fish depending on the region. The importance of organic food and environmental culture is also highlighted, but in a more secondary way.
Excusez-moi, je vais vous demander de bien vouloir conclure.
Déjà, d'accord. well, points were also mentioned by the elected representative we met. There appears in this page, and also opportunities and threats. Je vais conclure très rapidement. Je passe très rapidement ce que je voulais présenter. And the extending the survey to other Melanesian territories is viewed positively, particularly by pro-independence elected representative, because it would enable them to take in. Bon, je passe. Donc, in conclusion, the perception of family farming and fishing by New Caledonian elected representative is dependent on their ideological vision. Two views seems to be opposing each other. The perceived strength and weakness are linked to the status of the activity. Strengths of traditional skills and expertise held by individuals, and weaknesses linked to the non-formal nature of this activity. The main expectation expressed is that the research must be carried out, should be transferred to the local authorities, and that financial provision should be made for political action. Okay, thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you for this very interesting presentation. Is there any question for Christophe? Yes.
J'ai passé très rapidement sur les forces et les faiblesses, mais on peut y revenir dans des questions si vous le souhaitez.
Hi, Christophe.
Hi, Oliver.
Good morning. Good morning. It's more a comment on the period we live in New Caledonia, strongly related with this work that you initiated a few years ago. Last Monday, we had during the ceremony, the opening ceremony, we have a representative from the government, a representative from the Haut Commissariat Congress too, and they pointed the necessity for them to use our conclusions, recommendation, etc., etc. So I think that the work you've done here has a perfect timing for what we actually need in New Caledonia, and maybe later on or for other contexts in Vanuatu, Fiji or Solomon Island, but for the specific context of New Caledonia, I think that your timing is perfect. And what we share with them is that we plan to have a public setup, and with the recommendation of the 4 years of FALAP project, and this will be at the end of the year, this year, or at the beginning of next year. And I think your work is very important for this recommendation, the views of the policymaker regarding family farming. So it was just a complementary to your presentation. So thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you, Oliver. Yes, I think also that these issues could form part of the dialogue to be conducted in 25 and 26 in New Caledonia in the next month to imagine a peaceful future for this territory. Okay.
I was wondering whether you had some sharp differences between male and female. Is the gender influencing the answers that you received?
Well, not exactly. I try to vary the people I met with mayors who could be male or female, representative of the Congress who could be male or female, and I think the most difference is the political vision, if you want, and shared by men and women. Well, I think that women pointed out more than male the place of woman in family farming. The important place of woman in production and more than production in marketing the products from agriculture or family agriculture or family farming or family fishing.
And the remark that you had regarding the fact that agriculture is highly subsidized, and especially livestock, and which side of the independentists or anti-independentists were they were all sharing this view, or it's rather one side and not the other?
Maybe it was expressed more by representative from the anti-independence part, if you want. It was important for them, and these subsidies are important for the New Caledonian agriculture, but it was seen as a great dependence from France and from the territory. And I think that pro-independence representative stress out the importance of local agriculture, of family, what we call family agriculture, more than anti-independence people who were speaking more about economic and financial issues from améliorer le PIB, more than s'occuper des familles et promouvoir les techniques traditionnelles.
And has anyone talked about resilience in the face of the acceleration of global changes?
Yes. Mayors from the northern province talked about people who were displaced because of the
rising sea level.
Yes, absolutely. And many of the mayors talked about the problem of the water. Also.
You mean the availability of water, yes, for irrigation?
Yes. Yes, okay. Yeah. And the difference between the lack of water or too much, some years, too much water, who spoiled the production, the agricultural production. And so they are very interested with the fact that other territories may share their experience on this point of environmental issues.